All right, let's talk about Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State, a Heisman Trophy finalist, won the Doak Walker Award as the top running back in college football, was a first-team All-American, and a two-time winner of the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. When you watch this guy, there is a lot to like, obviously. One of the top playmakers in this draft. Let's first talk about the usage. A little bit of under center, mostly in the shotgun. A good mix, though, of both zone and gap schemes. A little bit of a tilt towards the latter, a lot of counter, a lot of duo, but he can fit in any kind of system that you're trying to run in the NFL level. The big thing, though, is that this guy was super productive, and everybody knew he was the guy to stop for Boise State. So even though he went up against a lower level of competition most of the time, They tried to load the box and stop him, and he still found a way to gain huge chunk plays. This guy hit 1,000 yards rushing before he was able to hit 100 carries. So he was able to average over 10 yards a pop to start the season. Just an outstanding profile here. Let's get into the positives. When you're talking about Ashton Jeanty, what is his superpower? To me, it's his competitiveness. He finds every single way to be able to find positive yardage and create yardage for himself. He's got excellent contact balance. He's so hard to get to the ground with the first tackler. He's going to use a stiff arm. He's going to use that stumble bum, that off arm to keep himself off the ground. He's got some wiggle in the hole to make that first man miss. However he can create yardage for himself as a back, he's going to be able to do it. And that stands out, not just on film, not just when you're watching him on TV or when you're on the sidelines. You look at the numbers, and they are just eye-popping. 4.76 yards after contact per attempt. That is an insane number. Nearly 75% of his yards last season came after contact. Insane number. 0.41 missed tackles forced per attempt. Insane number. This is a guy that creates his own yardage as well as anybody. No running back drafted in the last decade has put two of those numbers together, much less all three. But his game is not just all about his strength and his power and his balance. He's also a pretty juiced up athlete. This is a guy that was a track star in high school. He can create those explosive plays. He did so at a pretty high clip. This is a guy that's got a lot of wear and tear, but 18% of his touches were explosive plays. That's really hard for a running back that had as many touches that he had. And so when you look at his ability to create the big plays, it's not just as a runner, as a receiver as well. He only had 23 catches in 2024. So a lot of people kind of shoo his ability to impact the game as a pass catcher. But you go back to last year, he had 43 catches for the Broncos in 2023, and there were speed sweeps, there were shallow crosses from the slot, vertical routes from the backfield, some wheel routes down the sideline where you see him address the football and make those plays in the passing game. Honestly, that was the thing I missed most from the combine workout. We didn't get a chance to see Ashton Jeanty work out in Indianapolis. To me, he could have kind of put those pass catching skills on display for everybody to see, just to kind of remind everybody, oh yeah, this guy can impact the game in the passing game as well. So I think when you're looking at Ashton Jeanty, that's what you love. You love his ability to create his own yardage, and he certainly has that 3-down skill set. I mentioned the ability to fit into a zone or gap scheme. He's got excellent patience. He's really decisive on those zone runs, on those one-cut plays where he can go pop, 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 put his foot in the ground and get vertical. He's got that ability to do that. He plays off blocks really well. When you've got pullers and their various gap scheme concepts, he does an excellent job of working downhill, getting up to the second level, and that's where he can work his magic against linebackers, against safeties, and fighting through contact. So really the total package there. But there are certainly some negatives to his game, and it's going to start with ball security. He had 4 fumbles last year. He had 5 this year, so 9 fumbles in the last 2 years. I went back and watched all of them, honestly, this morning before I did this recording. All of those fumbles happened late in the down as he was fighting for extra yardage. So it wasn't like, a fumbled exchange with the quarterback or some kind of fluky play. A lot of them happened on those second, third, fourth effort type of reps. So you want to make sure that he can continue to hold on to the football. That's going to be a big knock on him moving into the NFL. He's going to have to get that straightened out because coaches, that's the fastest way to get sent to the bench as a young player is if you put the football on the ground. So he's going to have to get that straightened out. He's got some small things to correct in pass protection. The other big thing from a profile standpoint, he's got over 830 touches already on his body. 19 running backs drafted in the last decade had more than 800 touches in college. only 4 of those guys went on to be really viable NFL starters. And you're talking Kareem Hunt, Jonathan Taylor, David Johnson, and Breece Hall. So then, and those guys had some injury issues once they got to the league. So that's really the big knock you're going to see there with Ashton Jeanty. He's got that workload that's taken toll on his body, but then also the ball security, a couple things that he's going to have to kind of clear up here moving into the NFL. I would say just from a transition standpoint, this is a guy that's going to be the focal point of your offense. He can be the workhorse. He already showed that at the college level. He's got the 3-down skill set, the vision, the patience, the ability to create his own yardage, the abilities as a receiver. He checks the box as a pass protector. Really, there's no giant holes there. As long as he can continue to hold on to the football and protect the football, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to enter the NFL and be a productive runner from day one. Now, the big thing, and this is selfish from our point of view on the outside, you'd like him to go to a team where he's not going to get wasted away in the prime of his career. You want him to go to a playoff-ready roster, an offensive line that can set him up for success with a quarterback that doesn't make him a one-dimensional type of offense. As long as you can get Jeanty with a playoff-ready roster, this guy should come in and become one of the top running backs in the league right away.